Question 1. Title search and examination. Which of the following is the most likely source to uncover a previously unrecorded lien that may affect a property's title? A. Title plan. B. Abstract of title. C. Deed. D. Mortgage. Answer A. Title plan. Explanation. A title plan is a repository of title records and other documents related to property transactions, often including information on liens that might not yet be recorded in public records. Unlike deeds and mortgages, which are recorded documents, or an abstract of title, which summarizes recorded documents, a title plan can provide comprehensive details on liens, including those that might not have been officially recorded yet. This makes it a critical resource for identifying potential issues with a property's title. Question 2. Title insurance policies and procedures. What is a primary reason for issuing an extended coverage title insurance policy rather than a standard coverage policy? A. To provide coverage for risks not typically included in standard policies, such as unrecorded liens and boundary disputes. B. To reduce the premium cost compared to standard policies. C. To comply with federal regulations requiring extended coverage. D. To cover only the lender's interests in the property. Answer A. To provide coverage for risks not typically included in standard policies, such as unrecorded liens and boundary disputes. Explanation. Extended coverage title insurance policies offer protection against additional risks that are not covered by standard policies. These may include issues such as unrecorded liens, boundary disputes, and certain types of off-record matters, while standard coverage policies have more limitations and may exclude these types of risks. Extended coverage provides a broader scope of protection. This enhanced coverage is essential for comprehensive risk management in real estate transactions. Question 3. Scenario-based question. Mr. Thompson is purchasing a commercial property in Vermont and discovers that a prior owner had a lien placed on the property for unpaid taxes. The lien was never recorded but appears on an abstract of title. What should Mr. Thompson do to ensure this issue is resolved before proceeding with the purchase? A. Ignore the lien since it is not recorded and proceed with the purchase. B. Obtain an extended coverage title insurance policy to cover the lien. C. Request a letter from the seller stating that the lien will be paid off at closing. D. Seek legal advice to have the lien formally recorded before closing. Answer B. Obtain an extended coverage title insurance policy to cover the lien. Explanation. Unrecorded liens can pose a significant risk to a property buyer, as they may not be visible in public records but could still impact the property's title. By obtaining an extended coverage title insurance policy, Mr. Thompson can ensure that any unrecorded liens, such as the one discovered, are covered. Standard policies typically do not cover such risks, making extended coverage a necessary step to protect against potential title issues. This approach provides a safeguard against unexpected claims on the property. Question 4. Legal framework. Which federal regulation requires a good faith estimate of closing costs and settlement services for borrowers? A. Anti-money laundering regulations. B. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RISPAT. C. Truth in Lending Act, TILA. D. Fair Credit Reporting Act of CRO. Answer B. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RISPAT. Explanation. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RISPAT, mandates that lenders provide borrowers with a good faith estimate of closing costs and settlement services. This regulation aims to ensure transparency and allow borrowers to understand and compare the costs associated with their real estate transactions. While TILA and AML have their own important requirements, i.e., SPA specifically addresses the disclosure of closing costs. Question 5. Title search and examination. When reviewing a title abstract, which document would be least likely to reveal information about a prior owner's conveyance of property rights? A. Deed. B. Mortgage. C. Judgment. D. Lease. Answer D. Lease. Explanation. A lease typically pertains to the rental of property and does not convey property rights permanently or affect the ownership chain. Deeds and mortgages are crucial documents that reveal transfers and encumbrances on property rights. Judgments may also impact the title by creating liens or claims against the property. Thus, a lease is least likely to reveal information about prior ownership transfers. Question 6. Policy issuance. In Vermont, which of the following endorsements would most likely be added to title insurance policy to cover a particular risk related to zoning ordinances? A. Survey endorsement. B. Environmental endorsement. C. Zoning endorsement. D. Construction endorsement. Answer C. Zoning endorsement. Explanation. A zoning endorsement is specifically designed to address risks related to zoning ordinances and regulations. It provides coverage for issues that may arise from zoning laws that could affect the use or value of the property. Survey and environmental endorsements cover different aspects, such as property boundaries and environmental issues, while a construction endorsement relates to risks associated with construction on the property. Question 7. Understanding legal descriptions. When interpreting a meets and bounds legal description, which of the following elements is critical for determining the exact boundaries of a property? A. Lot number. B. Deed book reference. C. Compass directions and distances. D. Parcel identification number. Answer. C. Compass directions and distances. Explanation. Meets and bounds descriptions use compass directions and distances to define property boundaries. This method outlines the perimeter of the property by describing the directions and lengths of the boundary lines. Lot numbers and parcel identification numbers are used in other forms of legal descriptions, while deed book references are related to the documentation but not the boundary specifics. Question 8. Claims process. What is a common reason for a title insurance claim to be denied? A. The policyholder failed to notify the insurer within the policy period. B. The title search was completed by a non-licensed individual. C. The property was sold without a survey. D. The policyholder did not provide a good faith estimate of settlement costs. Answer A. The policyholder failed to notify the insurer within the policy period. Explanation. A common reason for a title insurance claim denial is the failure of the policyholder to notify the insurer of a claim within the specified policy period. Title insurance policies require prompt notification of any issues or defects to ensure that the insurer can address and resolve the problem. Failure to do so can result in the denial of the claim. Question 9. Regulations and compliance. Which Vermont-specific regulation addresses the requirements for record-keeping by title insurance agents? A. Vermont Title Insurance Act. B. Vermont Real Estate Law. C. Vermont Administrative Code. D. Vermont Property Records Statute. Answer A. Vermont Title Insurance Act. Explanation. The Vermont Title Insurance Act outlines the specific regulations and requirements for title insurance agents, including record-keeping obligations. This act ensures that agents maintain accurate and comprehensive records related to title insurance transactions. The Vermont Real Estate Law and other statutes may cover broader real estate issues, but the Title Insurance Act focuses specifically on title insurance practices. Question 10. Title abstracting. In creating a title abstract, what is the primary purpose of summarizing documents such as deeds and mortgages? A. To provide a detailed historical account of the property's value. B. To identify and document all known liens and encumbrances. C. To ensure compliance with state licensing requirements. D. To provide a concise overview of property ownership and encumbrances. Answer. D. To provide a concise overview of property ownership and encumbrances. Explanation. The primary purpose of summarizing documents like deeds and mortgages in a title abstract is to provide a concise overview of property ownership and encumbrances. This summary helps title professionals quickly understand the history and current status of the title, including any liens or claims affecting the property. It is not intended to detail historical value or ensure compliance with licensing requirements. Question 11. Problem solving and critical thinking. M.S. Davis discovers that a deed transferring property ownership was executed but not recorded before the property was sold. What should M.S. Davis do to address this issue? A. Record the deed immediately and proceed with the sale. B. Request a new deed from the previous owner and record it. C. Notify the title insurer and request a policy adjustment. D. Verify if the previous owner has a title insurance policy that covers this issue. Answer. B. Request a new deed from the previous owner and record it. Explanation. If a deed was executed but not recorded, it is essential to request a new deed from the previous owner and ensure it is properly recorded. Recording the deed establishes the legal transfer of ownership and protects against future disputes or claims. Simply recording the old deed or relying on a policy adjustment does not resolve the underlying issue of the unrecorded transfer. Question 12. Title insurance basics. Which of the following best describes the difference between an owner's policy and a lender's policy in title insurance? A. An owner's policy covers only the lender's interests, while a lender's policy covers the property's value. B. An owner's policy covers the property owner's interests, while a lender's policy covers the lender's interests. C. An owner's policy provides coverage for unrecorded liens, while a lender's policy covers recorded liens only. D. An owner's policy is transferable to new owners, while a lender's policy is not. Answer: B. An owner's policy covers the property owner's interests, while a lender's policy covers the lender's interests. Explanation: an owner's policy provides protection to the property owner against title defects and claims that may arise, ensuring the owner's equity in the property. In contrast, a lender's policy protects the lender's financial interest in the property, typically covering the amount of the loan. The owner's policy is not transferable and does not cover only unrecorded liens, whereas the lender's policy covers the lender's financial risk. Question 13. Title examination. Which of the following would most likely be considered a title defect that needs resolution before closing? A. A minor clerical error in the legal description of a deed. B. A judgment lien against a previous owner still on record. C. A discrepancy between the property's lot number and its legal description. D. An outdated survey showing previous property boundaries. Answer: B. A judgment lien against a previous owner still on record. Explanation: a judgment lien against a previous owner that remains on record is a significant title defect because it may create a claim or encumbrance on the property. This needs to be resolved before closing to ensure clear title transfer. Minor clerical errors, discrepancies in lot numbers, and outdated surveys might need attention, but are less likely to immediately affect the title's marketability compared to a recorded lien. Question 14. Policy endorsements and riders. Which endorsement would a title insurance company most likely use to cover the risk of loss from zoning violations? A. Survey endorsement. B. Environmental endorsement. C. Zoning endorsement. D. Title endorsement. Answer: C. Zoning endorsement. Explanation: a zoning endorsement provides coverage against risks related to zoning violations or changes in zoning laws that could affect the property. The survey endorsement relates to boundary and survey issues, while the environmental endorsement covers environmental concerns. The title endorsement is a general term and does not specifically address zoning issues. Question 15. Legal descriptions and property types. In a legal description using the government survey method, what does the term township refer to? A. A subdivision of land based on geographical coordinates. B. A square of land measuring 6 miles on each side. C. A specific section of a city or town with its own governing rules. D. A lot within a block in a residential subdivision. Answer: B. A square of land measuring 6 miles on each side. Explanation: in the government survey method, a township refers to a square of land measuring 6 miles on each side, which is further divided into sections. This method helps in accurately describing large tracts of land by providing a systematic way of referencing specific areas. The other options do not pertain to the government survey method. Question 16. Conducting a title search. When conducting a title search, what is the primary purpose of examining the chain of title? A. To confirm the seller's financial stability. B. To identify and verify the ownership history of the property. C. To determine the market value of the property. D. To review the property's physical condition. Answer: B. To identify and verify the ownership history of the property. Explanation: examining the chain of title is crucial for identifying and verifying the property's ownership history, ensuring that the seller has the legal right to transfer the title and that no outstanding claims or encumbrances affect the property. This process is fundamental to establishing a clear title and does not pertain to the seller's financial stability, property value, or physical condition. Question 17. Title abstracting. Which of the following documents is least likely to be included in a title abstract for a residential property? A. Warranty deed. B. Construction lien. C. Mortgage deed. D. Lease agreement. Answer: D. Lease agreement. Explanation: a title abstract focuses on documents that affect the ownership and encumbrances of the property, such as warranty deeds, mortgages, and construction liens. A lease agreement typically pertains to rental arrangements and does not directly impact the ownership status or title of the property, making it less relevant for inclusion in a title abstract. Question 18. State-specific regulations. Under Vermont law, what is the minimum period that a title insurance agent must retain records related to title insurance transactions? A. 1 year. B. 3 years. C. 5 years. D. 7 years. Answer: B. 3 years. Explanation: in Vermont, title insurance agents are required to retain records related to title insurance transactions for a minimum of 3 years. This period ensures that records are available for review or audit purposes, adhering to regulatory standards. The other options do not reflect Vermont-specific requirements for record retention. Question 19. Ethics and professional standards. Which ethical issue is most relevant for a title insurance professional when dealing with conflicts of interest? A. Disclosing any personal relationships with parties involved in the transaction. B. Ensuring that all parties receive the same level of service regardless of their background. C. Avoiding the appearance of favoritism in policy issuance. D. Maintaining confidentiality about transaction details. Answer: C. Avoiding the appearance of favoritism in policy issuance. Explanation: avoiding the appearance of favoritism is crucial to maintaining ethical standards in title insurance. It ensures that all parties are treated fairly and without bias, upholding the integrity of the profession. While disclosing personal relationships and maintaining confidentiality are important, the primary concern with conflicts of interest is ensuring impartiality and fairness in transactions. Question 20. Claims process. If a title insurance claim is based on an issue discovered after the policy has been issued, what is the insurer's primary responsibility? A. To deny the claim if the issue was not disclosed during underwriting. B. To investigate the claim and determine its validity based on the policy terms. C. To immediately settle the claim without investigation. D. To refer the claim to the third-party mediator. Answer: B. To investigate the claim and determine its validity based on the policy terms. Explanation: the insurer's primary responsibility is to investigate the claim and assess its validity based on the terms and coverage of the policy. This includes verifying the issue, determining if it falls within the policy's coverage, and taking appropriate actions to resolve the claim. Denying the claim outright or settling without investigation would not align with proper claims handling procedures. Question 21. Problem solving and critical thinking. Mr. and Mrs. Williams discover a discrepancy between the legal description in their title policy and the actual property boundaries. What is the best course of action to resolve this issue? A. Proceed with the transaction as planned and address any issues later. B. Request a survey to determine the accurate property boundaries. C. Amend the legal description in the title policy without further investigation. D. Negotiate with the seller to accept the discrepancies as they are. Answer: B. Request a survey to determine the accurate property boundaries. Explanation: requesting a survey is the best course of action to resolve discrepancies between the legal description and actual property boundaries. A survey provides an accurate and professional measurement of the property, helping to clarify and correct any inconsistencies in the legal description. Proceeding with the transaction or amending the description without investigation does not address the underlying issue effectively. Question 22. Title insurance basics. Which of the following is true regarding extended coverage in a title insurance policy compared to standard coverage? A. Extended coverage includes protection against zoning violations, whereas standard coverage does not. B. Extended coverage provides protection only for legal defects that are recorded before the policy date. C. Standard coverage offers protection against all types of title defects, including those not recorded. D. Extended coverage is less expensive than standard coverage due to its broader scope. Answer A. Extended coverage includes protection against zoning violations, whereas standard coverage does not. Explanation: extended coverage in a title insurance policy typically provides additional protection, including coverage for issues such as zoning violations, which standard coverage may exclude. Extended coverage addresses a broader range of potential title defects compared to standard coverage, but it generally comes at a higher cost due to its more comprehensive protection. Question 23. Title search and examination. When analyzing the chain of title, what is the primary purpose of examining recorded deeds and mortgages? A. To estimate the market value of the property. B. To verify the accuracy of property tax assessments. C. To ensure the proper transfer of ownership and identify potential title defects. D. To determine the historical significance of the property. Answer: C. To ensure the proper transfer of ownership and identify potential title defects. Explanation: examining recorded deeds and mortgages is essential for ensuring that ownership has been properly transferred and for identifying any potential title defects. This process helps confirm the legitimacy of the current owner's claim to the property and uncovers any encumbrances or claims that may affect the title's validity. Question 24. Title insurance policies and procedures. In the event of a title insurance claim, what is the insurer's primary duty when it comes to claim investigation? A. To immediately settle the claim based on initial findings. B. To refuse coverage if the claim involves a pre-existing condition. C. To thoroughly investigate the claim, including reviewing all relevant documents and facts. D. To deny the claim if the issue was not reported during the underwriting process. Answer: C. To thoroughly investigate the claim, including reviewing all relevant documents and facts. Explanation: the insurer's primary duty in claim investigation is to conduct a thorough examination, reviewing all relevant documents and facts to determine the claim's validity. This includes verifying coverage and assessing the impact of the claim defect, immediate settlement or denial based on pre-existing conditions or underwriting issues without investigation is not consistent with proper claims handling. Question 25. Legal descriptions and property types. What is a key characteristic of a metes and bounds legal description? A. It divides land into rectangular parcels based on a grid system. B. It describes property boundaries using landmarks, directions, and distances. C. It provides a lot number within a platted subdivision. D. It uses a combination of latitude and longitude coordinates. Answer: B. It describes property boundaries using landmarks, directions, and distances. Explanation: a metes and bounds legal description defines property boundaries using landmarks, directions, and distances, creating a precise description of the property's perimeter. This method is distinct from grid systems, lot numbers in subdivisions, and coordinate-based descriptions, which use different approaches for defining property boundaries. Question 26. Regulations and compliance. Which federal regulation requires disclosure of all settlement costs and fees to the borrower in a real estate transaction? A. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPAT. B. Truth in Lending Act, TILA. C. Anti-Money Laundering regulations. D. Fair Housing Act, FHIT. Answer: A. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPAT. Explanation: the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPAT, mandates the disclosure of all settlement costs and fees to borrowers, ensuring transparency in real estate transactions. TILA also requires disclosure of loan terms, but focuses more on the cost of credit rather than settlement costs. AML regulations and the Fair Housing Act pertain to different aspects of real estate and financial transactions. Question 27. Ethics and professional standards. Which of the following actions would most likely be considered? A breach of confidentiality by a title insurance professional. A. Sharing details of a title dispute with a colleague for advice. B. Disclosing a client's financial information to a third party without consent. C. Discussing a general title insurance process in a public forum. D. Recommending a title insurance policy to a potential client. Answer: B. Disclosing a client's financial information to a third party without consent. Explanation: disclosing a client's financial information to a third party without consent is a direct breach of confidentiality and professional ethics. Sharing details of a title dispute with a colleague for advice or discussing general processes is typically acceptable within professional boundaries as long as client information is not disclosed without permission. Question 28. Problem solving and critical thinking. Jane discovered a discrepancy between the title abstract and the recorded deeds, indicating that a portion of the property might be under dispute. What should Jane's first step be to resolve this issue? A. Contact the property owner to negotiate a settlement. B. Update the title abstract to reflect the disputed area. C. Perform a new title search and review all related documents. D. File a complaint with the local real estate board. Answer: C. Perform a new title search and review all related documents. Explanation: performing a new title search and reviewing all related documents is the first step to resolving the issue. This approach helps verify the accuracy of the title abstract and determine the extent of the dispute. Negotiating settlements, updating documents, or filing complaints might be appropriate steps later, but do not address the underlying issue initially. Question 29. Title abstracting. Which of the following is a common error when creating a title abstract? A. Omitting the legal description of the property. B. Including all recorded liens and encumbrances. C. Verifying the chain of title for accuracy. D. Summarizing the property's ownership history. Answer A. Omitting the legal description of the property. Explanation. Omitting the legal description of the property is a common error in title abstracting and can lead to significant issues in verifying property boundaries and ownership, including recorded liens. Verifying the chain of title and summarizing ownership history are essential tasks that ensure the accuracy and completeness of the title abstract. Question 30. Case scenarios. Mr. Smith is purchasing a commercial property and the title search reveals an unresolved mortgage lien from a previous owner. What should Mr. Smith do to protect his interests? A. Proceed with the purchase without addressing the lien. B. Request the seller to resolve the mortgage lien before closing. C. Accept the property as is and assume responsibility for the lien. D. Ignore the lien and focus on other aspects of the transaction. Answer. B. Request the seller to resolve the mortgage lien before closing. Explanation. Mr. Smith should request that the seller resolve the mortgage lien before closing to ensure that the title is clear and free of encumbrances. Proceeding with the purchase or assuming responsibility for the lien without resolving it could result in legal and financial complications for Mr. Smith. Ignoring the lien does not address the issue and may affect his ownership rights.